Every single season in the NFL, there's those one or two teams that are good, but we don't view them as true top end contenders. This season, what are the two teams in each conference that need the number one seed more than anybody else? Among realistic contenders.
You want to go first, Justin?
Yeah, I'll start. I have one, like, and I've said it before. The first team for me that comes to mind is Miami. Hot weather team. They have a severe home field advantage whenever you go into Miami and it's blazing hot. A lot of teams can't handle it. We've seen Tom Brady lose countless times in Miami. We've seen teams blunder when they go into that building. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Miami. You don't want to go into Kansas City in January playing in 20 degrees. We haven't seen Tua play in that climate. I don't know if we've seen that in college, but I doubt that. But in the NFL, at least, we haven't seen that. The closest we've seen, I think he played a game in Buffalo in December, and they lost. So I think Miami needs it more than anybody. So the way they're positioned now, yeah, they'll potentially have a home playoff game if the season ended today, but that's not how it works. They still got to run into Buffalo one more time. They absolutely need this. They need to. If I'm not, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but I think they need to win out.
I think I agree. Staying on the AFC track for right now, I think Miami is the team that needs the number one seed more than any team in the AFC. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Justin. It's because we all agree that there are questions about Tua late in the season in cold weather situations. Uh, so they need, like, literally they need this number one seed. They can't be going to a Kansas City, a Buffalo, a Tennessee, Cincinnati in January, playoff game, atmosphere, cold weather. I'm not trying to take my chances with Tua Tagovailoa there. And yeah, Justin's right about Tua not. We haven't really been seen him in those type of situations, and I'm pretty sure he got pulled in situations that we would have seen what he was like last year. I'm pretty sure Flores pulled him.
In his rookie season, Flores pulled him that last year.
Okay, so 2 years ago. Okay, yeah, but yeah, they pulled him from those things. I think one of those games was the Buffalo game. But yeah, I agree. I think Miami needs this number one seed more than any other team.
Man, sure, the Dolphins can use this, but I think the team that could use the number one seed more than anybody in the NFL is the Tennessee Titans. And I'm going to be honest with you, J. Ray, and BCAP, who just disappeared because he doesn't want to hear it. The Titans are the exact model of the Baltimore Ravens, and yet we say every single year the Ravens are a dark horse and write off the Titans. They win the same exact way. Great defense, running the football very well, and making timely plays. They're well coached. Mike Vrabel's a better coach than John Harbaugh, and when he's doing things his way with the group that he trusts, the Titans are always the biggest dark horse. And while I'm not going to call them sleeping giant by any stretch, this is a team that, in the coldest months, you don't want to play. Kind of less at Cincinnati, who last week shut down Derrick Henry. It is tough to stop Derrick. With all of these weapons they're developing, Treylon Burks has had an element of explosive plays. And if he can continue to play at this level the way he has coming off of injury, along with Chigakwaku and Austin Hooper, the Titans have many different weapons they can go to, and defensively, they're going to continue stopping the run, and that secondary, it's always the next man up mentality. So the Titans, I think, are the team in the AFC that can use the number one seed more than anybody else.
Well, they're not going to get it, but also I feel like their playing style doesn't change at all. I don't think they need it. I think they can go into any house and play their style of game. That's why I said Miami needs it the most, because there's no other team lined up in the AFC playoff picture right now that plays in a climate like Miami. So I think that's the biggest difference. Tennessee is battle tested in the cold. They can go into Baltimore and win a game, and we've seen them take Kansas City to the brink. They can win a game in Kansas City. Do I think it'll happen? No, but they can play in that weather. So I can't see them being the needing the number one seed.
Well, it's a matter of rest for the Titans because Ben Jones, Jeffrey Simmons, this is a team that plays so physical. I think they could use that week off the way they did last year. And surely they got it last year and it didn't matter in the second rounds. But I think this year we can see a kind of new element of them. Because remember, Derrick Henry had just returned from his foot injury for that Cincinnati game. So long as so long as Henry's healthy and he's doing his thing, and they don't match up against DJ Reader, I feel like Tennessee can easily win a round two matchup. And you said before the Titans can't get the number 1 seed. I'm looking at their schedule, Justin. They easily can. This upcoming week, they got Jacksonville at home. Then they got the Chargers. After that, they got the Texans, who are going to be certainly fighting for Bryce Young if they haven't already got him. Then they have the Cowboys week 17 and the Jaguars week 18. The only real matchups there are Dallas week 17 and the Chargers week 15
You forgot Philadelphia.
this week. I did. I completely skipped over Philadelphia.
That's a big one.
Yeah, and
Titans-
also they have to. Theirs is predicated on Kansas City losing games. Like the Kansas City, I mean, to tie them, Kansas City would have to lose 2 games to finish this to end the season. And I don't even know who wins the tiebreaker in that situation. So to guarantee their spot, they have to hope Kansas City loses 3 games. They have to hope Miami and Buffalo lose a couple games, and they have to win out. So yeah, I think Tennessee's path to the number 1 seed is not likely at all. But yeah, I agree with Justin. I don't think Tennessee needs the number 1 seed. I mean, we saw them have the number 1 seed and what they do with it. And I also think that they have a type of football game plan that travels, which is play defense and run the football, play action with Ryan Tannehill. So yeah, I don't think that they need the number 1 seed. I do think it's Miami that needs it.
And you're right. The Chiefs, they're a clear path to the number 1 seed. Their upcoming schedule is relatively easy. This week they have the Bengals on the road. That's a tough matchup. And also, AFC Championship game rematch. Then they have the Broncos on the road, the Texans, and the Seahawks before finishing off the season against the Broncos and the Raiders. So I think they probably lose one of those last 6 games, and they finish this year with 14 wins. So yes, they're going to get the number 1 seed. But if the Titans can get rolling here, I think with Treylon Burks being reintegrated, you could see that dynamic of explosive plays that last year was, in and out of the lineup because AJ Brown missed some time. And this Tennessee team to me is they're dangerously looming, guys. I don't think we can overlook them.
So John, who would you for the NFC? Who needs the number 1 seed?
So let's do this to the NFC. What team in the NFC needs the number 1 seed more than anybody? To me, it's pretty darn clear: the Dallas Cowboys. The pathway for the Cowboys getting there is, to me, actually a lot more likely than what the standings would indicate right now. So for the Cowboys, to end the season, their schedule, it's not too tough. They have the Colts this upcoming week, then the Texans, the Jaguars, the Eagles. That game right there, week 16, is going to decide everything before they play the Titans week 17 and the Commanders week 18. They had the tiebreaker over the Eagles if they beat them that second time. And I feel like for them, if they can get that week off, they're well rested, they have home field advantage. It's ultimately them just winning 2 playoff games to get into the Super Bowl. And I like this Dallas team a lot more, even if they take that week off and they maybe lose some momentum if they only have to win 2 opposed to 3.
I'm with you on Dallas. I was thinking about it looking at the NFC, but I'm going to go in a different direction. I think the team in the NFC that needs it the most is Minnesota. I think Minnesota's playing great football this year. Obviously, they're 9-2, but we've had our concerns about primetime Kirk. I think you got to get your quarterback and put him in the most comfortable scenario ever. So bring him home. There's an insane home field advantage there with the crowd doing the skull chants. I was watching that game on Thanksgiving, hearing how loud that crowd got. It's intimidating. You don't want to go into that house. It's the 4th quarter. You're driving down the field, losing the game, and you got to hear that. That's some real stuff. That's a home field advantage right there, like similar to what the 12th man is in Seattle. I think Minnesota really needs it bad because I think they're a Super Bowl contender.
You surprised me there. I thought you were going in a much different direction.
Where?
B-Cap's going to go there right now, I'm sure.
No, so
Killing me.
I'm going with Dallas as well. I'm not gonna go Philly, and I'm not gonna go Philly because this is a surprise. I didn't know this. They're 5-0 in away games. So they're showing right now that they can go win on the road. But for Dallas, yeah, I do agree. I think being in Jerry World for the playoffs is massive for them. Even though the Cowboys fans, they travel probably better than any other fan base in the NFL. Like they are everywhere. You can't walk a street in the US of A and not pass by a Cowboys fan.
They're not the real America's team. Don't get it twisted,
Oh
Brett.
no, they're not. That's the New England Patriots, and we
That's
know
the
it.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's the
No,
Steelers.
no,
It's the Steelers.
no,
It's not even
no,
close.
no.
We are the team that is most well traveled, and it honestly is not even a debate, in my opinion.
But we've dominated you for the past 20 years.
Because
so
of one player. One player's gone now, and all of a sudden you guys are a mediocre team with a boring
Okay.
offense.
All right, yeah. Sure. But yeah, I agree. It's Dallas. I think Dallas needs the number 1 seed more than anybody in the NFC.
I'm shocked you guys did not
direction,
go
yeah.
with San Francisco right there.
I feel like they can play on the road. They've done it before.
But they're a team that needs to stay healthy, and that week off while having home field would be most beneficial to them.